2, 1. Yes! We're back! It's another Monday, and it's time for another episode of the CineBoiz podcast. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. You look it. It seems like it. But yeah, everybody, welcome to the CineBoiz podcast. We are part of the Corked Bats podcast network. We are the only podcast on the internet where 4 dudes get together and talk about movies. The only one. Don't fact check us on that. There are, you're not going to find anything, because they don't exist. Just like Donald Trump's Twitter account does not exist. All right. Take our word for it. So if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. That would be great. And just tell a couple friends. That's kind of our New Year's thing here is, just tell a couple friends. That's all you got to do. Really easy. Subscribe, tell 2 friends. There you go. That's done. If you're watching on the Corked Bats YouTube page, again, thank you so much for supporting Corked Bats. Be sure to like our video because that makes us feel good. And also subscribe to the Corked Bats YouTube page because there's some great stuff on there. But yeah, guys, another week. We're still isolating, still keeping our distance from each other. Tom, how are you today?
Pretty good.
That's good to hear, man.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. Mob, how you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Kev Keith?
We got playoff football today, boys. I'm great.
We do have playoff football today. That's exciting. Not a sports podcast, but
not a sports podcast. No.
A lot of good football on today. So that will be fun to watch. Did the Chiefs play this weekend?
They don't.
I can't understand why. Why aren't they playing this weekend? Everyone else is playing this weekend. Why not the Chiefs?
Seems unfair. Anyway.
It's really strange. I'm pretty sure the Titans are playing this week. And the Steelers are also playing this week, correct?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. Is that because they're not as good as the Chiefs?
That might be the reason. I'd have to fact check it.
I think that might be what it is.
We'll get stats and info on it, and they'll get back to us.
Okay. Well, for anybody who's a Titans or Steelers fan, looking at you, junk drawer, best of luck this weekend. Maybe we'll see you next week. Who knows? But again, we're not a sports podcast.
Definitely not a sports podcast.
Never have been, never will be.
No, we're not a sports podcast.
Are we a sports podcast?
Sometimes I get confused, but I would say no.
Fair enough. Well, hey guys, let's get into it today. We got some stuff to talk about. It's going to be a fun day. For the first time in pretty much since we started, I think we did this like the first few episodes we had. But we got some box office numbers from this weekend or this past week. Isn't that great?
Wild.
People are braving the coronavirus to go out and see a movie in theaters. And I hope that's a good sign.
I don't know what it is.
I had a buddy at work who went and saw a movie. Someone rented out the theater for their birthday,
Mm-hmm.
And so he went and he's like, I ate a full large bag of popcorn. It just felt right.
Nice. But yeah, we got some box office numbers. So coming in at number 3 this past week was News of the World with, old Tom Hanks.
America's Dad.
Yep. $1.7 million in the box office, which in any other time period would be very depressing.
What number did you say?
1.7 million.
Oh.
How much was the budget on this film?
Probably a lot more
10
than
million? 20?
Yeah. Probably a lot more. It'll probably break even once it goes to VOD. So
hopefully.
That's such a shame because it's getting pretty good reviews, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm having trouble remembering what the premise is. Someone tell me.
He has to get this girl back to her family, I think, and they have to traverse the Texas frontier through Native American territory.
So the budget of the movie was actually $38 million, which sounds like it's a lot, but also I
don't know.
Is it a whole lot? It's not. It's not like a Marvel movie going into theaters and bombing.
That's probably about the floor for a Tom Hanks movie, to be honest, because he's not in small budget stuff.
To put it into perspective, Castaway was $90 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
that
then
was
the
20 years
Circle,
ago.
which he was in, was 18 million. So it's about.
Are you saying
Well,
that was
Circle was maybe the worst movie he's ever been in. So.
Are you saying that was the budget or how much it made?
The budget.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. I don't think right now we can quantify like whether or not a movie bombed based on its box office numbers because they make money other ways now with streaming and video on demand. I would, yeah, and they just don't track those numbers, or at least for where I get my numbers, they don't track. Because and also like places like Netflix, they don't release like numbers like as far as like money goes that they make on a movie.
I don't really know how they would even like. You can't quantify a Netflix release the same as you could anything else.
No, you can't.
I just don't because they have the same number of subscribers.
Right. So I think they base it off concurrent streaming. So they take a look at their data and figure out like who watched what and how many people watched it
And what that translates to monetarily.
Yeah. And people, I mean, I think where they try to make money on those streaming services is, you know, they bank on people getting a subscription just for a movie. And then maybe they cancel it and then go back and get it again. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do that.
It feels like that's probably way more true for like HBO Max and Disney Plus right now. But
yeah, it could be. I think it's the same for all of them. Netflix is set up to where like you can cancel anytime and then
that's true.
Restart your subscription whenever you want. So I would bet a lot of people do that. Yeah. So that was number 3. And then coming in at number 2 was Crudes, A New Age. Made $2.2 million at the box office.
Kids are less susceptible.
I have a couple questions. 1, what is a crude?
2, what is Crudes 1?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even know what this was until I had to look it up this morning.
Yeah.
This is one of the movies where I was probably watching a Chiefs game and saw the preview for it and said to myself, this is a world I don't know that exists, which is children's movie that is made specifically for children.
Yeah. Crudes 2.
We all have kids, so we know all about that.
And then number 1 at the box office this past week was Wonder Woman. It made $5.5 million.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know if that's surprising or not.
What was the budget for that movie? Anyone know?
A lot.
Probably huge.
Looks like Mob's on it. But yeah, I would think that would make less because it's so accessible with HBO. Hey, Mickey.
You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
So remember, News of the World, 34 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman, $200 million. That was the budget.
Good night.
So they're bankrupt already.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Yeah, but again, doesn't include the streaming numbers of HBO Max, which I'm sure were large.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whew,
Still.
that's a lot of money.
Yikes.
That's a lot of Skrilla. Right, Mickey?
But, I mean, if you think about it, DC's used to losing money on big budget movies. Justice League was $300 million. Suicide Squad was $175 million.
Yeah.
So this is just another day for them.
It's kind of their thing. Big budget movies that don't do well.
Right. Well, hey, I mean, that's the box office numbers. Maybe I'll have some more next week. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah.
And these numbies. We'll see you
the
next
old
week.
I mean, they could very well be the exact same.
Yeah, they could be. It could be the same 3. I don't know if anything's going to get released in theaters this week. I don't know. So speaking of DC, though, I think we need to clarify some things, or at least talk about it. So we posted earlier this week that the New York Times, so writer Brooks Barnes, he posted this story in the New York Times about Michael Keaton, moving forward, is going to be the main Batman of the DC universe, which I don't hate. I actually really like that because Michael Keaton is America's Instagram dad. If you go back and read that blog post on Cork Bats, we do consider Michael Keaton to be an American treasure. Not just us, the CineBoiz, but I think that's fair to say amongst everybody at Cork Bats.
I'm glad he gets to rehabilitate his image after that disaster of a film called Birdman. Let's build him back up. Build him back up.
Hold on. I give Birdman a lot of crap. I think it was a terrible movie. I thought he was great.
No, he was great. He deserved everything he got.
I thought the filming was great.
Should have won an Oscar for that movie.
Sometimes I forget he didn't win an Oscar for that.
Yeah, I know. He deserved to win that Oscar. Eddie Redmayne.
Don't get me started on Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was the story that broke in the New York Times this week. And Brooks Barnes basically saying that Michael Keaton was going to be the main Batman of the DCU or DCEU following the Flash movie, which is going to come out in 2022. Then, like, the internet blew up. Everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. I think a lot of people were stoked. Some people were probably bummed that it's not Ben Affleck, but those are the cringy nerds.
Who are those people?
Hey,
I don't want to meet them.
Apparently, like, comic book people think Ben Affleck is the best on-screen Batman, which is fine, I guess. I don't think Ben Affleck's bad, but
no, he's an American treasure in his own right. The pictures that come out of him, just like carrying his Duncan, and he's a relatable guy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I personally, let me just be clear, I'll go ahead and say it. This is a pro Ben Affleck podcast. Yeah, he's great. Like, he gets a lot of shit, which I don't think he deserves. I think he's
he deserves some of it, but not all.
Well, okay, he's a fantastic actor. He's a great director, great writer. Like, I think Ben Affleck's great, and I don't think he's bad as Batman. I think he's, going back and watching those DC movies where he's Batman. They're not good movies, but he's not a bad part. He's not the reason they're bad.
No,
that's true.
He doesn't ruin it at all.
It doesn't help that your counterpart is Jesse Eisenberg and you're what are you supposed to do with that?
Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
So he had everything working against him.
Yeah.
He did.
Truly. Yeah. So anyways, after that news broke, the internet went crazy, and then Brooks Barnes came back and basically said, whoa, pump the brakes. I just meant, like, he's going to be the main Batman for the Flash movie. And he said that he doesn't have any knowledge about anything after that. There's nothing in the works as far as like a solo Batman movie with Michael Keaton. And so he was like, that's all I meant. And so now it's like out there where people aren't really sure what's going on. Here's what I think would be cool is I don't need a Michael Keaton solo Batman movie.
Correct.
Don't need it. We have those. And he's almost 70, and it probably wouldn't
he's
be
almost 70.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's almost 70. It looks like he's in his late 50s.
Oh my God.
American treasure.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken good care of himself for sure. But we don't need a solo Michael Keaton Batman movie. Like, he's just too old for it. But what would be cool is if he was like the Tony Stark of the DC universe.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
It definitely feels like that's what's going to happen. He's going to be a mentor to this new up and coming superhero.
Yeah.
Show him the ropes.
Sick, dude. Or a lot of things circulating about a Batman Beyond movie where he plays Bruce Wayne and then somebody else plays
the new Batman,
the younger Batman.
I would love
that'd be cool.
Like, I think I posted something about that years ago. I was like, it would be sweet if that happened. So I don't want to give myself too much credit, but is it, if that happens,
is he the hero of the situation? I think he is.
Probably. Am
I a hero? Who's to say? But yes.
Who's to say? But yes. So Michael Keaton Batman. Let's.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Let's campaign on that. Let's just have him be a fatherly figure of these young DC superheroes moving forward, and then Ben Affleck let's do a Batman TV show with Ben Affleck and Jared Leto.
Well, like, where does Robert Pattinson sit in all of this? He's like,
that's the confusion.
Batman.
Yes, that's a great question. So
what
Robert
if Pattinson's awesome.
Like, he will be. I have no reason to think he won't.
I need to make a confession. No, I need to make a confession.
Yeah, do it.
So I watched Tenet last night,
mm-hmm.
and we were watching the movie, and I sat there and I was watching with my lovely wife, Kate. And I was watching it, and I said, oh my gosh, Robert Pattinson's going to be a good Batman.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, he probably will be.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a good actor, which is
so
where he started from it's impressive that he got here, honestly.
Talk about the bottom.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom.
He got paid. I don't blame him in the slightest.
Here's what I think. I don't think he started from the bottom. I just think he started from the wrong top.
That's
Actually,
that's
No.
actually
I think he hit the mountaintop of where he did not want to be,
Yep.
and so then he had to go.
well
And
because his
now
first real role was Harry Potter. Yeah, was Cedric.
Harry Potter, yeah,
And then he went straight into
Twilight.
Twilight.
And like, I can see how you'd think like that's a natural great step for my career, like book universe, but it took him some time to rebound, and probably took him.
He didn't
7 or
want
8
to do
years.
those movies. He's said like multiple times he regrets doing those movies, which he shouldn't. They're great movies. They're
What
fun.
a weird, like when you go back and think like he dated Kristen Stewart for so long, and just what an interesting man.
Yeah. But now it's like he's up there where like anytime he's in a movie I gotta see it.
Yeah.
Like he's just such a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even with Tenet, like we said
John
on the
David
podcast.
Washington's right there for me too. Same
Right.
deal. If he's in it, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last week we were talking on the podcast about I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Tenet, when he was basically saying that he didn't have any idea what was going on. Still does an excellent job.
Yeah. Pulled it off.
Yeah.
Fooled me.
Yeah.
But that's
Bob, were you
not
going to say
hard.
something?
no. I just was gonna say if you put John David Washington and Denzel in a movie and closed your eyes, it would be
my
hard to figure out
God.
which character was which.
Can we do that though? How do
Yes.
we do that?
They're in a movie together, aren't they?
No, they are. He was in Malcolm X.
That's
as
right.
a child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
well,
That's right.
get
yeah.
him in now.
Yeah.
But you're right. Their voice
before
sounds
his
identical to each
his
other.
star NFL career with the St. Louis Rams.
The Los Angeles Rams.
No, they were the St. Louis Rams at that time. You
What a
dick.
storied career from NFL to Hollywood.
Well, hey, speaking of John David Washington, we posted a trailer this past week for Malcolm and Marie, which is Sam Levinson's new movie that's going to be on Netflix. That in this weird era that we live in is going to qualify for the Oscars this year, even though it's not technically being released till February. Did you guys watch the trailer? What'd you think?
Multiple
I
times.
did watch it. I don't know what to expect from it. I can't tell like what it's supposed to be, like what type of genre movie it's going to be. And I don't know. I might check it out.
I could see it going one of two ways. It could be awesome or it could be just horrible. And I don't think it's going to really be anything in between.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it as like this year's kind of Marriage Story. It's going to be highly dramatic, about not necessarily divorced, because I didn't get that vibe, but just like a cut
I don't think they're married.
into life of these two people who are obviously in a relationship.
Yep. It's not a love story. It's the story of love.
Yeah, it's going to be I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but I can tell it's going to be a good movie. One of those types of deals.
Yeah, it's going to look awesome. It's going to sound awesome. So Sam Levinson is the creator of Euphoria, which is I love Euphoria. It's an excellent show. And the vibe of Euphoria, even though the subject matter is depressing as hell, the vibe of it is just like cool.
Well, we haven't talked about Zendaya yet. She's one of my favorites too.
Gosh,
I love her.
Zendaya. She's
This
she's
movie-
the freaking best.
Like Marriage Story, it will take me a long time to work up the emotional
Capital.
bank to get to the place that I need to be able to watch it. And then, I'm not going to, when it comes out, I'm not going to watch it that first day. It's going to take me a couple months to psych myself up.
That's fair. Well, I was reading an article this morning on Variety about it, and basically the article was talking about its Oscar chances. Obviously, the movie hasn't come out yet, but they're saying that, based off of what it is, for several reasons, it could clean up at the Oscars. One, it does benefit from the Oscars being pushed back, so it was able to get out. And they literally filmed the movie last summer.
Right, that's what's insane. This is a product
Of the quarantine,
quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing is it was
That
made
sounds like
completely
critics
in
would love
quarantine.
that. Yeah.
They literally decided, hey, we can't do anything. Let's just make a movie.
Make a movie.
Yep.
Well,
And so,
another black and white movie.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time we had two black and white films and nominated for Best Picture? Assuming that this is going to be nominated.
Yeah. Mank in this. Yeah. That's, I don't know. But it seems like black and white is cool again.
I don't really like it. I'll be honest. I like seeing color. The good Lord gave me color vision.
You're
I
blessed.
like it if it's used. Like I think Mank needed to be in black and white because of what it was.
Mhm.
That makes more sense.
I'll be interested to see what this one is like in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is that the movie, the subject matter is about the film industry. So John David Washington is playing like a director, and they're coming home from like a premiere, and it's about the industry of making movies. Which I mean, Hollywood loves movies about.
Yeah, that's why Mank and this could do
Yeah.
awesome, because if there's one thing they love, it's
Movies about themselves.
Yep.
Right.
Like holy moly.
Right. And then the one thing, the other thing that they talked about in the article is that, you know, there's a good chance that Zendaya would be nominated for Best Actress. If she were to win, she would be only the second Black woman to win that award in 93 years.
Damn.
So that could be a driving.
Who is the last?
The last person to win Best Actress was
Viola
Halle
Davis?
Berry. No,
Halle
so
Berry.
Viola Davis won
Supporting.
Best Supporting Actress.
Okay, that's okay.
Mhm. So she would be
That's nuts.
the second person in 93 years. So it's Halle Berry and possibly Zendaya.
Well, let's
Other-
get them both on the podium. I want to see both of them up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing would be is if she were to win, is that she would be the second person to win the Best Actress Oscar and Emmy in the same year. So the last person to do that was Helen Mirren.
We're a pro Helen Mirren podcast for those.
Yes, we
asking.
are.
Oh yes.
We are pro Helen Mirren. So, like for history making, like I feel like that's kind of an Oscar thing too. Is like, hey, we like to make history. So that would be kind of crazy.
They do like it. Yeah, that is nuts. The 93 years. There's only it's been Halle Berry. That's
Yep.
Well, I remember that was a
Sheesh.
kind of a thing with Fences and Viola Davis, where she was nominated for supporting actress when she was
Not-
the main
Yeah,
actress in that movie, and they were
Which is
like,
weird.
it was part of the we can get her. We feel like can guarantee her the Oscar if we go for supporting actress, and I
dumb.
remember that being a big deal.
Yeah. Also, Fences. I didn't really like it.
It was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Fences
I was bored.
It was
I was bored.
Yeah.
incredibly well acted, but
Mhm.
it was a play that did not translate well to the screen.
Well, I'm also
Right.
sure Viola Davis will be nominated again this year.
Yeah, very much so. I think she'll probably get a Best Actress.
Oh,
The-
for
I mean, she could. I mean,
Rainey.
yeah. The only thing against Zendaya not winning Best Actress if she gets nominated is the pool is crazy this year. So it's likely going to be Viola Davis, Frances McDormand,
Oh, I can't wait to see Norman.
Zendaya, probably Carey Mulligan.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be nuts. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Malcolm and Marie. I
It's
can't
turning
wait
into
to
a
see it.
strangely good year for movies, just in a really roundabout, weird
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Like when you look, we got there eventually. It just took
Yeah.
Some
us
scrambling
so long.
around.
We just
yeah.
needed a 14-month year.
But
Yeah.
it makes sense, right? Because it was all these movies holding off,
Mhm.
and then it's finally like, no, we're gonna
just
let them
blow up all
go,
at once.
however it happens.
Right. So yeah, be on the lookout for Malcolm and Marie on Netflix here in a few weeks. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the world, movie wise. There wasn't a whole lot going on in the world, but we don't need to get into that.
We are not a politics podcast.
We're not a politics
No,
podcast.
staunchly no politics.
Yeah,
podcast.
we keep our political talk. We do that before and after we record,
Except for that one episode.
except for when we talked
so
about
we shared our political beliefs.
The only real other thing news-wise is Nicolas Cage turned 57.
God bless him.
That's high praise.
That's high praise.
He is a treasure.
I want them to remake National Treasure. Speaking of treasures, I want him to be the lead and then recast the rest of it, but make it a PG-13. Make it an R movie, not
Except-
a PG movie.
Even though we're not a political podcast, we found out that stealing the Declaration may not be that hard.
Right.
Pretty easy,
Yeah.
maybe.
So the
Just-
fantasy of it all is kind of gone.
You and
Right.
a couple buddies
Yeah.
might be able to just grab it. Who
Just
knows?
go on in. Well, I know that I don't know if it's still happening, but there was like a Disney Plus in production TV show that was going to be based on National Treasure.
See, but it's going to be G or PG. I want R-rated.
And
I
it's-
want,
Yeah.
I want
probably
work.
hardcore action.
I want uncut Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Just
Don't sass
going
me,
at
hat.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, could we get Andy Samberg playing Nicolas Cage as the main role?
Honestly,
I watched that.
in my humble opinion, the best thing to come out of Nicolas Cage's career is Andy Samberg's impersonation of Nicolas Cage.
That's definitely in the top 3.
But we have Nicolas Cage to thank for that. So
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched the history of swear words yet?
I almost started it last night.
We started it the other night. I wasn't really paying attention to it though.
I would only be watching it to just see Nicolas Cage talk. It's the only reason.
He's great. And the thing I love about Nicolas Cage, I mean, some people could say that he doesn't seem self-aware, but I think he's very self-aware. Like
he
knows
is now.
Right. Like he knows like, hey, this is who I am. I make kind of ridiculous stuff, but everything I do, I'm going to do 100%.
Yeah.
I watched an interview with him where they kind of broke down like his top roles and they would ask him about it. And he was talking about like all these iconic roles he's played and how he like prepared for them. And I was like, this dude is dedicated. Like this guy, he does not slack off when it comes to acting. And he will take any role, but like he will do that
Literally
role
any
110%. Yeah. So happy birthday, bud. Maybe we'll have him on the podcast.
I bet he would do it.
Yeah. I've actually got a list of people that I think realistically we might be able to get on the podcast who are famous. And the top of my list right now is James
You think
Van.
Nick Cage is on there?
No.
Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
What?
So I'm campaigning to get James Vanderbeek on this podcast for several reasons. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys follow James Vanderbeek on like social media at all.
I follow him
can't
on
say that I
Instagram.
do.
So
He's a funny follow.
James Vanderbeek lives here in Austin. He just moved here with his family. His like I don't know where he lives, but like it looks awesome. I think he bought like a ranch like in West Austin, and it's dope.
Austin's about to be the next LA because all these celebrities from California who don't want to pay state income tax are just flooding to Austin.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe
Right.
Rogan. It's gonna be you're gonna be priced out of your own house soon, Kenny. Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like we're looking at places right now, and it's like, gosh, it's so expensive here. Like
Buy now before if you wait 3 years, who knows?
Well, I mean, we probably we don't need to. We're not a home buying podcast,
But we
even
kinda
though
are,
We
though.
all kind of work for that industry. Well, no, what I was going to say about James Vanderbeek, like I said, he lives in Austin. He posted some stuff this past week about the emergency broadcast test system. So in Austin, if you ever hear the emergency broadcast, you know, like whenever you get the test, it was like, this is a test of the emergency broadcast system. In Austin, it's McConaughey. So it'll be like, and be like, this has been a test of the emergency broadcast
God, I love
system.
him so much.
Yeah.
If this were a real emergency, you wouldn't be hearing McConaughey talking.
Have you read his book yet?
I'm not. It is on my list.
I'd like to.
I want to read it, but there's this one Twitter account that reads like excerpts of it every once in a while, and it's just like I feel like I froze right there. Did I?
You did.
You did, yeah.
Keep
Say it
going.
again.
You seem okay.
There's like an excerpt of him talking about like eating a hot dog for the first time, and I just
Oh,
do I
it's
want to pay
probably weird.
$15 for that? I don't know.
I
Why
think
not?
I think this is one of the books that you're doing yourself a disservice if you do not listen to it on audio.
Audiobook.
Yes. Yes.
Fair.
I think that was, we originally were going to drive home for Christmas, and our plan was to listen to the audiobook on the way there. That ended up falling through. So yeah, I'm McConaughey, thumbs up. Run for, there is a
Fan.
chance he has opened the door to possibly running for the governor of Texas in a few years.
Nice,
Seems
good
like
for
he
him.
should.
Yeah.
And he'd probably get elected.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, anyways, James Vanderbeek, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the podcast. I'm going to start a campaign to get Vanderbeek on the podcast. Yeah. And you guys, we can help out. We'll just start this social media campaign. We'll talk to Court Bat, see what they think. You know, let's go. Let's
First
go all
step
in
is
on
getting him to like the meaningless post, and
Right.
then we'll go from there. I
We
think.
got to go all in on Vanderbeek. We should do, you know, with Dumb Social Experiment that Court Bat does every Friday. We should do our own, like on a Thursday every week, and just do James Vanderbeek every week.
Every single week. Yep.
I'm all for that, actually.
And see if we can get James Vanderbeek interested in being on our podcast.
Or at least aware of that we're people.
Yeah. At least get him to follow us, maybe.
right.
Follow might be harder than getting him to just pop on the
A
podcast.
budding
Right.
friendship.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to kind of tease for everybody before we get into Tommy's things, which stay tuned for that. We got some new stuff for you. So just want to tease that in a few weeks, we are going to have our top 10 list for the year. And that will be a special episode that we have, and we'll post it on social media. Our top 10 list, top 10 movies of 2020 and kind of 2021, since the Oscar season's a little bit longer this year. We'll have that coming up soon, so be on the lookout for that. Do you like apples? How dare you? They already released theirs. It's almost like they're listening to our meetings and our conversations outside the podcast somehow.
A little rude, but
it is rude. The other thing, though, is that like I want to be mad at them, but everybody has a top 10 list.
No, we invented lists. You can't tell me otherwise.
We invented lists.
I don't know if we invented lists, but we invented drafts. So
We for sure invented drafts. Maybe instead of a top 10 list, we brand this as a Mount Rushmore of 2020 movies, except Mount Rushmore has about 6 more faces on it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the meat. That's the meat, bro. That's what we're going to call the main part of our podcast. Let's get into the meat.
No, it should be the meat, bro.
Let's get into the meat.
And then Tom's segment at the end is the potatoes. Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, Tommy's potatoes.
Taters.
Tommy's taters.
Yeah. Here we go, baby.
Tommy's taters. They're so yummy. Tommy's taters. Won't you feed those tates to me?
Tots.
That's your best one yet.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
oh gosh, that was weird.
It probably didn't feel good saying, but
yeah,
it felt good hearing it.
Oh yeah.
That being said, Tom, like, I know that you have decided, hey, you know what? I'm ditching the normal stuff. I'm going to work hard and create something new. We're excited. What do you got for us today?
Yeah. Really, I think this is going to be an ongoing project. I'm just going to be doing some spitballing, some workshopping here the next few weeks just to kind of figure out what works.
Hell yeah.
So, first, do you guys want me to do my regular anniversaries first, or do you want me to get right into my new thing?
We gotta save anniversaries.
Yeah, let's do the new thing.
That's always the last. It's what the people want. We got to give them what they want.
All right. Well, I thought this week it'd be fun to do a little Tommy's trivia.
Yes.
Tommy's trivia ticklers, if you will.
Ooh, TTT.
So basically, this is just going to be me quizzing you guys. So I've done some research. I've got some pretty solid questions. They kind of run the board from fairly easy to pretty dang challenging. So we'll just start with an easy one to give you guys a feel. My first trivia question: what are the dying words of Charles Foster Kane in Citizen Kane?
Rosebud.
Oh, yeah.
Rosebud.
Yeah. You are 100% correct.
Yeah. Are we competing against each other here?
You know, I don't know. Again, spitballing.
Okay.
We need some little buzzers.
All right, cool.
I
love it. Let's go.
All right. Let's see. Next question. For what movie did Tom Hanks score his first Academy Award nomination?
Philadelphia?
Nomination.
Probably not. That was his first win.
You know, honestly, I'm also going to say Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow along, but I don't think it's right.
I don't think
there's
that's
one
the
that
right
was
answer.
I don't
before
think it's right either.
You're going to say it, and I'm going to be like, yep.
Before I researched this, I would have said the exact same thing, but it was actually Big.
I thought about saying Big, but I was like,
interesting.
In all honesty, I don't
thought
know which
Philadelphia
one
was before Big, so my timeline's
Big was like 87, and then I think Philadelphia was like 94.
It was in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was little. That's my excuse. All right. Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
He's our grandfather of the podcast. If Austin's our dad, Tom Hanks is our granddad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Might be true.
He's the grandfather of Cork Bats.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
That sounds good.
He's Austin's dad.
Yeah.
My next trivia tickler. What pop vocal group performs at the wedding in Bridesmaids?
Oh, Wilson and Wilson.
Wilson Phillips.
Wilson Phillips.
There it is.
Wilson Phillips nailed it. All right, and let's do one more. I feel like we're on a roll here, and I want to do. Let's find a good one here. I was totally prepared for this. This is just a good fun one. What Hollywood movie star plays himself in Zombieland?
Say that again.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Oh.
Nailed it. Yeah,
He placed himself there.
he did.
All right.
And Jesse
Well,
Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were 3 for 4 today.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And really missed
Yeah.
one we should have gotten.
Yeah.
It does feel like we should have known that.
You know what? We'll take our reps. We'll get better, and we'll do better next week.
We'll come back tomorrow. We'll look at the game tape.
Hit him
After
harder.
this podcast.
That's why you come in early and you stay late and you take the extra reps.
Hell yeah. Well, Tom,
True.
that was fun. Thanks for that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be workshopping this. I'm going to be thinking of new ways to make it better and more exciting and cooler,
And better.
better.
Cool. Well, shoot, man. Let's get into those movie anniversaries then.
All right.
Dumpuary continued.
Yeah, tell me about it. Happy 5-year anniversary to 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, starring Jim Halpert's Smugness.
Oh. Not a good movie.
Yeah.
Didn't watch it.
Was that Michael Bay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was excited for it until I saw Michael Bay at the end of the preview. I was like, oh.
Oh, no.
Big explosions.
Remember when he was like the height of – there was a time when Michael Bay directed me and I was like, yes.
I think from the period of like 1996 to 2003 was
First
like,
Transformers was like the
Bay
end of his
era.
reign, whenever
Yeah.
that was.
It was the
Did
start
he-
of the end.
Start of
because
the beginning of
everyone
the
was
end.
super
Yes.
excited about it, and then he kept making more.
Oh,
Yeah. And he did Pearl Harbor too, didn't he?
yeah.
Because I think there's like a story, or no, who did Armageddon? Armageddon's what I'm thinking of.
He did both. Yeah.
Both have Ben Affleck. That's why I got confused. But
Mhm.
I know there's a story where it's like when they're talking about like in Armageddon, like what the plot is and like the astronauts are training the drillers to go to space. Ben Affleck asked him just like, so why don't the drillers just teach the astronauts how to drill? Michael Bay was just like, shut the hell up. And then he like stormed out of the room. Yeah.
I've heard not flattering things about Michael Bay and how he treats people. So there's that too, which makes me not like him.
Yeah.
But-
Anywho,
Mhm.
happy 10-year anniversary to the Green Hornet.
oh boy.
That's 10 years old.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
I was surprised.
10 years, yeah.
2011 was 10 years ago. That's nuts.
It was one of my best years, and now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Now it's just part of the past. Nothing good to look forward to now. Oh, cool. Well, Tom, thank you. I feel like that was those movies are a little better than last week's.
There's one
A
more.
little bit, but there's one more.
Oh, there is?
25 years.
Oh.
Happy 25-year anniversary to Dunstan Checks In.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
that's actually a good one.
I thought
Kind
I'd
of.
get some high praise there.
Love
Yeah, dude,
Dunstan.
I love monkey movies.
That was the height of comedy in the 90s.
It really was.
Gosh.
The fact that 96 is 25 years ago really hurts my brain.
Doesn't it?
The whole thing about kids turning to, like, you have an ID that says 19 anything now and you're automatically good at the grocery store.
Yep.
That hurts.
They just have to look at the number.
one,
If it's a
or a
1
2.
on the year in your license.
How
That's
dare
weird.
these kids be 21, being born
Yeah.
in 2000? How dare they?
That's nuts. It's crazy. Well, officially
Crazy
that was
monkey.
better than last week.
Chimpanzee.
Much better.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I actually knew these movies this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them may not have been good, but I knew them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In like 15 years when we're still doing this podcast, we'll have a good January then,
Yeah. Hopefully.
hopefully.
Well, cool. Tom, thank you so much for all of that. And that, guys, that really just brings us to the end. That's it for this week. Did just want to say, as we say every week, be sure to follow us on social media. So we are on Twitter and Instagram at the CineBoiz. If you want to email us, you can. It's the CineBoizPodcast@gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Corked Bats on social media, which is at Corked Bats on Twitter and Instagram. They might have a TikTok. I don't know. Anyways,
I bet Austin has a
Interesting.
TikTok. I bet
so
he's
be
made
sure to follow Corked Bats as well on Instagram and Twitter. Be sure to check out corkedbats.com, the website. You can find our page on there as well. That's it. We're part of the Corked Bats podcast network, and we're done for this week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Right.